Good day, everyone. This is Jakester, and we're going to get headed to Bowman Gray Stadium with dirt on the pavement for the 13th race in the USA Truck Series. Only 3 races remain until we lock it down for the playoffs. Looks like we're just in luck that the track will actually hold 42 trucks. I assume that the pit stalls must be on the inside and the inside and outside of the pit walls, so
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans.
hopefully we
Make sure
don't
you get
have
everything
any
like you want it.
bizarre happenings or unfortunate circumstances that'll make this race unwatchable. I see Gavin just logged in. How's it going, Gavin? So it's been about probably a week and a half since I last streamed, so it's gonna be there's definitely gonna be some more that I gotta catch up on myself. We do have some newcomers to the series. The 33 of Colton Smith, and we also have wanted to say there's at least one other person that's Avery Farrell's got his brand new paint scheme put together. Yep, and that puts us, we're up at 38 drivers. We're almost up to 42 max field. The points battle as stands is Chadwick over me person by 21 points. Tim Cording third with 39 points back. Nathan Morgan 51 points back, and Braden Hunt 58 points back. A lot of this ain't gonna mean much once the playoffs start because we're gonna reshuffle it all and restart with the new points after the playoffs start. So it looks like James King is on the pole, followed by Chadwick, who's going to try to do as much as he can to keep his points lead over me person. Me person starting 6th doesn't have very far to go to catch him, so we're going to go ahead and let the trucks take to the track and see what happens here. Oh no. This is going to be one of the shortest tracks we run on. It doesn't look like my cameras for that are going to be very good, so we're going to watch it in the helicopter view. We'll see how this works for a while. I don't know what's going on. This ain't normal. is one of the things I should have practiced before starting to see if the track would even work. Let's see. Don't think we want the full pace lap.
If
this don't work again, we'll find a different track, a different dirt track.
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Start your engines!
Apologies for the chip crunching there. Man, I don't know what this track's deal is. They can't even make a turn. Well, this track obviously did not get designed for the AI in mind. I don't even think we're going to get a complete lap underway with the way this is set up. So, plan B. We'll have to see. Maybe I have another dirt track. We did Bristol already, and we've done a couple of the other dirt tracks. We did Daytona Dirt. Devil's Bowl is later on in the series. That'll be in our playoffs. We've done Eldora. Let's see. Go ahead and send me one of your tracks, Gavin, a dirt track that I haven't run yet. Pick whichever one you want, and I'll go ahead and run it. It doesn't look like I've got any other. Williams Grove is on the schedule, I believe. Am I not mistaken? Look at the schedule real quick. Yep, Williams Grove, Devil's Bowl, and Dodge County are the last 3 dirt races after this one.
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your...
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Okay, this is just for filling empty space at the moment. Figured it'd be kind of neat to see them turn laps here at Spa real quick. None of the drivers are actually rated for road courses, so it's not like they would have any upper hand. What you're looking at right here is purely based off of what they've got for driver rating, because everyone's got an identical road course rating. Kind of weird how they all piled into that first turn there. Maybe we just make this the race. Should I put it to a vote? What do we think? Trucks on the road course here. Kind of different. You might get a wild card winner that you wouldn't have expected to see otherwise. How do you do the vote thing on? Wonder. Cancel. What's the track? Which one is it? I'm thinking this is what I'll do. We're going to throw this race in as a bonus race, so we'll have 26 races. This ain't going to count. It'll obviously count. We'll have 4 races now instead of the 3 for the playoffs, to the playoffs. But we're going to let this one run through, and we're going to see what happens here. And then we'll run the dirt track right afterwards, since I really don't have anything going today. Do a spa, then it's kind of neat because the Formula One guys go to Spa next. That's the next race on their schedule, so it's kind of fitting to have them run Spa right now. But then after this race, I'll keep the stream going, and we'll just run the second race and rack up the points for them. Not a big fan of the trucks getting tangled up in the back wall here. Not doing much damage. They're just, that truck's stuck pretty hardcore there. Guido Piano has a win already this season. Atlee Weiss is looking to take a win, and hopefully, if he gets that win, he'll be in the playoffs. This extra race will help add a little bit of added drama to the playoff picture for sure. Atlee, he actually started from the pole and has been leading this whole time, so 23 laps will be a long time around Spa here, especially in these heavy trucks that they're running. The Formula One cars are light and fast. These guys, their top speed might be about 160, 170, when a Formula One car get up to about 220. Guido's definitely trying to flirt with the lead there on Atlee. But Atlee's flexing that ram power at the front. Looks like Atlee's coming down pit road early. He must believe that he can go the rest of the way now. The only catch will be that it stays caution-free for the entire race. That way it'll cycle back around to him at the end here. Not sure. It'll stay caution-free, but it looks like everyone's staying pretty civilized in the mid-pack there. This is definitely a different angle on Spa. I'd never thought that I'd see NASCAR on Spa. In the meantime, our current leader is Guido Piano over Tim Courting and Jack Ross. You got Jessica Hergeson sitting in fourth there as well. Nice part is it looks like we've at least got solid 4 trucks for contention here. And I just realized that we don't have all 38 trucks on track either. I'll ring up the other guys as if they started but didn't finish. So as they run right now, Atlee is the first driver amongst the drivers that have pitted, running in 28th, 1 minute off the pack. And they'll lose just about that much time pitting here at Spa. Looks like Tayden actually might be in good position there. He's only 3 seconds off of Atlee, running 29th. Atlee having lost as much time as he did there, I'd imagine that the leaders will lose just about as much when they pit, and Tayden might actually be in the top 5, top 10 after things shuffle out here. The most uncertain part will be how many pit stops these guys will need to make it to the end. I don't know where Atlee pitted, if that'll be good enough. We'll have to see, obviously. He pitted pretty early there. He could have kept out, run a couple more laps, and pitted later. But it's all part of the strategy. As we can see here, these guys out front are running slower laps, while Atlee and the others that pitted are on fresher tires making up faster laps. So it might come out as a wash. Guido doesn't need a win as he's already won 1 race this season. He's locked into the playoffs. Amongst the top 5 here, you got Jack Ross and Jessica Hergeson, who would benefit the most from a win. Tim Courting is definitely a lock for the playoffs. He's sitting second on track right now. And then Kellen Oakley is also locked in as well. It's amazing that things might actually stay caution free and this race can actually go in the direction of Atlee here. We get more and more trucks pitting. Atlee's up to 26 at the moment, within range of getting into the top 25 already. It'll take about a minute for the lap times to cycle there, since leaders just got by. And they're about halfway done with their lap. We'll see exactly where Atlee and the rest there shuffle out. Lead bunch is staying out yet another lap here as they turn 7 circuits on the track. Looks like Krista Cower's closing in on the top 5 there. Decent run for her this evening, or day, afternoon. Another driver definitely looking for a win to get in. At this point, we only have 3 drivers that are going to make it in on points, and that number can continue to shrink as we get new winners. it'll definitely come down to winning you're in, it looks like, because we'll have 4 races left here, and 3 racers could get a win that haven't yet and totally shake up the apple cart. The girls are definitely kicking butt here at the road course, as we've got Jessica Hergeson in the top 5, Krista Cower running 6th, and then you got Maggie Reams running in 7th. Your top 5 still remains unchanged as Guido Piano leads over Tim Cording, Jack Ross, Jessica Hergeson, and Kellen Oakley. Certainly everyone's going to have to pit at least once coming up here shortly. And we still have no takers in the top 5, as they're going to complete yet another lap. Further back from 7th, we have Louis Trost running 8th. James Robert running 9th. Lane Smith running 10th. Al Bunch running 11th. James King running 12th. Luis Rodriguez running 13th. Tim Hansen running 14th. And Paulo Ladino running 15th. Bend over. Jordan Walker. Avery Farrell. Tristan Reams. And Trevor Walker. Ant Meeperson, who's having a rough points run right now in 21st. Matthew Fastnot. Colton Smith. Looks like Kinsella had to get his hood removed from prior damage. We still haven't seen a caution in the 9 laps run so far. Zach Armstrong, Austin Mullins, Braden Hunt, John Brinker, Jack Davis, Philip Leeds. And it seems like Atlee Weiss is losing ground, as he was up into the top 26th at least, and now he's dropped all the way back to 31st. So perhaps he pitted earlier because he had some troubles with the truck. Well, it looks like he had to come down pit road a second time. There must be something that they're struggling with on that truck. Hayden Bergeron had a flat tire at one point. Chadwick running 32nd. That's gonna be a hard hit to the points for him as well. Hayden Bergeron in 33rd. Of 23 here. Our lead 5 still hasn't pitted yet. I think we figured out why some of the other trucks pitted early. There might be some mechanical troubles going on with a couple of them. So unfortunately, it's not going to cycle back out in their favor here, as they've had to make multiple pits down pit road. Just shy of halfway here. Your top 8, actually for the most part, your top 10 has remained unchanged for the last few laps here. Lane Smith cracked into the top 10. I don't believe he's been there yet, so that's a good run for him. Guido Piano with an extra win will give him some more bonus points going into the playoffs. Got someone like Tim Cording behind him who would also like to tamp his points into the playoffs as well. I keep your eye on Jack Ross though. He's in a do or die situation. If he doesn't get a win, he won't be into the playoffs. He definitely isn't going to point his way in. We've also got Jack Davis, who teeter-totters on the edge of the 35th, or the 25th, my bad. 25th spot in the points, which would be a lock since he has a win. He is running 29th place at the moment, so he's likely going to stay below the top 25 and not get that berth in the playoffs if he's outside of the top 25. You could almost throw a blanket over this top 5 as they run. 3 team trucks of Kellen Oakley. We've got the Oakley Racing Stable in the top 5. Tim Cording, Jack Ross, and Kellen Oakley himself all running right there. Jack Davis would be the other one racing for Kellen Oakley's team. I think that's... So just an update on some of you that are tuning in. The Bowman Gray track was a total disaster. The trucks couldn't even complete one lap on the track, so we had a little bit of a plan B, and my plan B turned into a double header where we're gonna run Spa as we're watching right now. I just threw it on Spa to try and fill empty space, and then decided it's like, hey, you know, this could be an extra race that'll maybe give someone an opportunity to get into the playoffs. So we're running Spa now, and then afterwards we're gonna run East Bay dirt track that Gavin Legend recommended to us. It's looking like our run here is going to get interesting at the end, as we've got 5 trucks within contention, 2 of which could be a playoff berth if they get to the front here. Jack Ross definitely needs a win, as well as Jessica Hergeson there in the Miller Lite truck. Still a lot of racing to go as we're halfway through. There's no telling who might actually steal one here at the end. Strategies and pit stops might mess around with the finishing order here. I keep hearing rumors that Spa might get dropped from the Formula One schedule. It'd be kind of weird if that happened. Then, especially like Monaco, they keep talking about dropping it too, so that'd be like dropping Daytona and Darlington from your NASCAR schedule. It just seems weird. I think they made some big changes, or at least different layout for Spa this year to try and help accommodate maybe better racing or whatever. I guess we'll see. I do believe that'll be this coming Sunday where they'll be racing at Spa. And then the next week they'll be racing at one of my favorite tracks. The, oh, what's the name of it? Zandvoort. Yeah, Zandvoort. I like the layout on Zandvoort. It's neat that NASCAR Racing 2003 actually has some good Formula One tracks you can run on. The only thing is, a lot of these tracks, they change the layout so often that this one's a 2003 Spa. Well, they've made a lot of changes and for safety concerns and whatnot, layout changes to the track. Just south of 9 laps to go now. Guido Piano and Tim Courting are still class of the show up front. The number 50 Bandit Chippers truck. Tim Courting's actually going to make his venture into the Busch League, Busch Lights, and then also into the Cup Series for 2023. He'll break away from Oakley Racing to start his own team. Team name will be Total Knockout Motorsports, and it's going to be interesting to see some of these up-and-coming rookies working their way into the Cup Series. The Cup Series has a very large, very eclectic schedule, more so than any of the others. You got 11 short tracks, 11 super speedways, 11 speedway, the intermediate speedways, and 11 road courses. So it definitely tests the full caliber of a champion. Everyone now makes their way down pit road for their first pit stop and last pit stop of the race here. Guido Piano came in with the lead. We'll see if he can hold it on the way out here. There's a little bit of bumping and banging there when they were getting on. Looks like Tim Courting and Guido make contact there coming off pit road, but it's Tim Courting off to the front. Had a quicker pit stop than Guido and actually earns himself the lead at the moment. We'll have to see if anyone stayed out during this transition. Crazy part is someone like Tayden Berggren and a couple of these other drivers might actually be in the catbird seat. The other trucks will have fresher tires and will likely run them down here, but I think we're going to see a new front of the field here shortly. Atlee Weiss is actually... Let's see. How did that work out, I wonder? Thought he just passed pit road there. So he's right on the tail end of being a lap down. Al Bunch retired, so he must have had a mechanical failure or a wreck that tied. Krista Cowers now up to third right there. She's looking to get by Guido for second. Tim Cording's definitely driving away with this one. And luckily for him, his contenders in the points battle are running 19th and 30th. So he's going to make up a bunch of points on the leaders. Things will perhaps get very tight before the playoffs here. Down at the conclusion of this one, we still have 4 trucks within contention of the win here. Tim Cording stole the lead from Guido Piano on pit stops. And Guido ended up leading the first half of the race with ease. So he's definitely got the speed to win it, but getting by Tim Cording might be a difficult task at hand. It'll probably be on the level of trying to pass Ryan Newman hard. Krista Cower and Jack Ross sitting third and fourth there, both of which need a win to get in. And then even a little bit further back, you got Jessica Hergeson, who would also benefit from winning, getting a lock for the chase. Tim Cording and Guido Piano are already locked in, but that doesn't mean they can't earn themselves an extra win and more bonus points towards the championship at the playoffs. Krista's trying just about everything she can to get around Guido for second here. We've run all 18 laps in this race so far with no caution. Minimal drivers falling out. We've only lost one truck so far, and that was Al Bunch, who retired, finishing 33rd. Our early leader was that of Atlee Weiss. Looks like he's going to settle in for 27th or so. He has potential to get up to 26th there. I don't know how Taden Berggren still struggles each week. His ratings are definitely above par, and yet his truck always performs under par. The NR 2003 anomaly of sorts. Oh, and Atlee must have pitted again as he's dropped back to 30th, so that truck's still making frequent stops down pit road, it looks like. No, he just lost a lot of ground somehow. Did he perhaps spin out or get bumped into? Let's see. Oh, yep, nope. Another pit stop's what it was. It's crazy that it takes a whole nother lap for it to cycle out. Down to 4 laps to go now. Tim Cording over Piano and Cower. Ross and then Hergeson. Reams, Maggie, she's up to 7th. Correction, 6th. Lewis Tross 7th. James King 8th. And Kellen Oakley 9th. Trevor Walker is running 10th. Bindover, Jordan Walker, Avery Farrell, Paulo Ladino, Colton Smith in 16th, not bad. Matthew Fastnot, Ant Meperson, Zach Armstrong, and Tristan Reams. Then you got Tim Hansen, Lane Smith, James Robert, and Luis Rodriguez. Austin Mullins, Braden Hunt, William Kinsella Jr., John Brinker, Philip Leeds, Jack Davis, Atlee Weiss, and by golly, Chaz Chadwick is going to finish at least 30th or worse. Our points leader is going to take a huge hit in the standings, giving up a lot of ground to Ant Meperson, who's second in the points. So the back and forth is going to be constant all year with those two. Tim Cording's actually starting to establish a deficit on second place right now. That truck looks wore out and beat up. He's holding strong in the lead and driving off on him too. This time by, it's going to be 3 laps to go. Starting to look like our 2 non-winners of Krista and Jack are going to need a miracle here, as Tim Cording and Guido Piano are holding them off in the lead there. Jack Ross wants to move up to 3rd here on Krista. Krista holds strong on the outside of that line and is the inside of the next line. Jack Ross falls back into 4th there, holding off for now on the pass. That'll end up slowing these two down furthermore and giving the top 2 a chance to run off even further. 2 laps to go now. And these 4 drivers are still very close up front here. Our leader definitely establishing a cushion on the rest of them, though. Believe it or not, Tim Courting would become only our second multi-winner on the season. Tristan Reams technically has 2 wins, but his first win was a non-points paying race. So for the record book, I'm going off of points paying wins. And the only driver to get multiple wins this season was Chaz Chadwick, who's had 2. Yeah, Tim Courting, if he wins, will get his second win and become only the second driver this season with multiple wins. It's looking more and more certain at this point, as he's given himself about a 6-truck lead on second place there. Guido Piano seems to be losing some momentum, as the other 2 are catching up to him like a shark. Krista might be able to get by him here for second if she finds the right opening. Seems like she has the faster truck at the moment. We're on lap 22 of 23. Next time by will be the white flag. So the race has gone entirely caution-free. The lead has been shared amongst 3 different drivers. We had Atlee Weiss leading early, and some mechanical failures forced him down pit road, losing the lead and ultimately putting him outside the top 30. Next one to take the lead was Guido Piano, who's had a win on the season already. But during green flag pit stops, Tim Courting had one stellar pit stop that put him out in front of Guido Piano. The 2 of them actually made contact coming off pit road, fighting for the lead. And Tim Courting has led ever since. Top 5 did change a little bit from that green flag pit stops. Krista Cower was outside the top 5 and she moved in to the top 5. Kellen Oakley was the one that flip-flopped there, as he was running top 5 and now he's outside the top 5 running 7th. Jack Ross was in the top 3 for most of the first run. He settled back into 4th there. And Jessica Hergeson stayed about equal in her 5th place position. In 3rd place, you got Krista Cower. 5th place, you got Jessica Hergeson. And 6th place, Maggie Reams. So, top 10 for all the gals in the race here. This will definitely be the only road course race, and I like how the product is played out here. We might see a road course in the 2023 schedule. Simply a standalone road course race that'll kind of help emphasize an extra facet of the drivers. Being able to prove themselves on all types of track disciplines. It lets some of them shine that might not otherwise on short track or super speedway. Well, in the last lap here, it looks like Guido Piano's closing in on Tim Cording. Perhaps he was saving some of his tires for the last stretch here to try and make a charge on him for the lead. It's probably going to be a little short and all for naught, as Tim Cording still has a demanding lead over him. They enter the bus stop here for the last time this race here, and it looks like Tim Cording's going to come out victorious, getting his 2nd win in the 2022 circuit. Guido Piano 2nd, Krista Cower with a solid 3rd. Perhaps if she can keep racking up top 5s like that, she could potentially point her way into the playoffs. Jack Ross in 4th, and Jessica Hergeson in 5th. Yeah, currently as they run, Krista would have been able to gain a couple spots, but as she is in 14th in the points, it's going to be hard to point her way in. So she'll definitely need a win if she wants to get in. Chadwick and Me Person had a rough day today. Me Person finishing 16th, he was able to minimize the bleeding. Mid-pack finish today will help keep him probably within the top 2 of the point standings. Tim Cording, after winning, might have very well just jumped up to the points lead, because Chadwick, our points leader, ended up finishing 31st overall. So we're going to see a shakeup of the point standings. Seems one of the drivers that didn't make the race was Nathan Morgan, who is 4th in the points, is going to drop him back pretty hardcore because Kellen Oakley had a good run, and that'll move him up to 4th in the points. So as soon as these trucks get back on pit road, we will roll into the next race at one of the dirt tracks. Following back from 5th place, we had 6th place, Maggie Reams. 7th place, Lewis Trost. Kellen Oakley. James King. Trevor Walker. Ben Dover. Jordan Walker. Avery Farrell. Paula Ladino. Colton Smith. Ant Me Person. Matthew Fastnot. The 29 of Tristan Reams. The 25 of Lane Smith. Then you had Tim Hansen, James Robert, Luis Rodriguez, Zach Armstrong, Philip Leeds, Austin Mullins, John Brinker, Braden Hunt, William Kinsella, Atlee Weiss, Jack Davis, Chaz Chadwick, Taden Berggren, and Al Bunch. So hold tight, everyone. I'll get the next race started here. We'll actually have our dirt track that we were planning on running. So everyone does get basically one more shot at a win here, because we'll have one extra race on the south side of the playoffs. Still, as they run right now, we have 3 points positions, which will be up for grabs unless a win takes it away. I got the tracks that, so Gavin was mentioning Springfield over East Bay, so we'll go ahead and run Springfield. If Springfield doesn't hold 38 drivers, we'll have to run heats. So hopefully, sweet. It'll do just enough. We've got 38 drivers and we'll be able to hold all drivers currently. We're going to have to rechange that though to 200 laps, since it's a 200 lap race that I was projected for. Pyrus. And see, tracks. Save, close, close. Okay. So without running up the points, I think our top three are definitely tight. It'll be Tim Courting, Ant Me Person, and Chaz Chadwick. Most likely for less than they're going to be all separated by single digits. So going into this race, it's going to be a huge make or break to keep the point standings. Whoever's got the lead at the moment, it's going to be whoever finishes in front of each other.
Favor, touch all your seatbelt connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
So for race number 2 today, we got John Brinker on the pole, followed by Krista Cower, Taden Berggren, Ben Dover, Matthew Fastnot, Guido Piano, Nathan Morgan, Braden Hunt, Ant Me Person, and Atlee Weiss. So tail end of the field is Colton Smith. The driver that has a chance to get the Columbia sponsor would be Al Bunch, since he finished last at Spa. If he can pull off a win here, he'll be finishing last from last week to winning it this week. Tall order to fill. We'll see if he can pull it off.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
John Brinker off to an early lead here, as Taden Berggren on the inside looks to try and successfully makes the pass on the inside on Krista Cower. Three wide at least for a couple rows there. All these drivers are driving fast on this dirt track here. Very reminiscent of super speedway racing, the way they're driving it. Almost wide open the whole time. Just on a short dirt track. 133, 132. They drop down to 120 miles an hour at the end of the exit. So Nathan Morgan, as we're looking at right now, sitting well enough to get in on points. However, a win would definitely make him feel comfortable for a lock. As well as Al Bunch in the 08. his whole season depends on a win here. Actually, for the most part, you got John Brinker as well. And you got Ben Dover and a whole bunch of drivers up here right now that need that win. Maggie Reams was the last driver, end up winning on a dirt track, so she might look to go 2 for 2. As mentioned earlier, Al Bunch, if he gets the win, he'll end up winning the sponsorship of Columbia Clothing. Aunt Me Person sitting there, and he's going to try to take the lead early in the running here. They are all fanning out, 4 and 5 wide it looks like. Surely this is going to give. There's going to be a wreck somewhere on track. Al Bunch got shuffled out high there. Oh, and we got our first wreck of the race. David Bird, it looks like to be the one most involved in the wreck here. All started with Louis Trost getting looser on the inside, taking Braden Hunt with him. David Bird, unfortunately, was just in the aftermath of it all. Braden Hunt went for quite the ride here, as they were 4 right at 5 wide when the contact happened. Oh, Taden Bergen had nowhere to go. Neither did Zach Armstrong. And David Bird tried to, but couldn't miss the 7 truck of Heidfeld. Very small wreck for the first caution of the race. It didn't look like they were done. The 7 of Heidfeld took another hard hit as he was not sure what the hell's going on now. The pace truck seems to be set on overkill, as I don't know where anyone's running at the moment. Out from that first wreck we had, wow, Aunt Me Person was involved? Where did that happen? No, I guess it was. Aunt Me Person was in the actual outside lane when it all went down. Okay, so the caution fell. Oh, damn it. Well, yet again, luckily we've got a pair of tracks, but this one's got more AI glitchery than the other ones do. apologies everyone that I'm gonna have to do this yet again. Springfield Mile. The pit road entry is a little bit tight for them, and they end up just driving into pit road wall. Thanks for the recommendation on that one, Gavin, but I think we're gonna have to try the other one you got. East Bay. I do like that track. They race really, really hard, but the AI are just a little bit on the idiotic side for that track. So I'll cut. As very evident that NASCAR Racing 2003 was not designed for dirt racing. It seems like it's harder and harder to find a good dirt track on NR 2003. Luckily, we've got our plan C. I didn't want to go that far down the totem pole, but and East Bay only has 19 trucks available. I want to, but I don't want to run heats for the most part since we've been running so long as it is already. So dirt tracks in our 2003. I know there's at least. Yeah, we go race them on the stadium where they go up and down and hit jumps and whatnot. Beaver Dam, Chilton. Did Knoxville already this year. Chili Bowl, that one would be a nightmare. Speedway. That one intrigues me. Let's try Lakewood Speedway. It's a 1 mile dirt oval. So likely we'll have at least 42. It'll be kind of a vintage, like a throwback race. If this track looks good and runs good, we might do something like that in the next season where we have a throwback. All the paint schemes will be throwback schemes or something. That'd be cool. So, third time's the charm, hopefully. Tracks. Paste. Extract. Stupid thing. Cut. New folder. Lakewood. If I was gonna start on, if it were the only race we were doing, I would have done the heats and run it, but even 19, that's pretty dang small. You'd almost have to do 3 heats to set the field. For some of the bigger rosters, 19 and 19 would be 38, so it'd be almost perfect for the trucks, but anything else you would need that third. Sweet. So we can do a full field at this one. So go back, of course. And save, close. And I'm thinking I actually got hopefully all the crashing taken care of. I went and disabled everything on startups. There's nothing else on startup on my computer. And just my luck, I probably jinxed everything and will have a crash within the next couple races. But well, everything's looking good so far, especially if I can run as many of these back to back like I'm doing. So,
Touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans.
get to re-rack it all again. This time our front row is Braden Hunt, Kellen Oakley, Krista Cower managed to stay in the top 5. Guido Piano, Trevor Walker, Atlee Weiss, Tim Hansen, Jack Ross, Chaz Chadwick, Tristan Reams, Paulo Adino, Matthew Fastnot, Jack Davis, Ant Meeperson, and Ben Dover round out your top 15. It looks like Tim Cording's going to be starting pretty deep in the field, starting 34th overall. And Al Bunch will be looking for a win. He's deep in 28th.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
That's cool. They actually have a lake in the infield. That would be unpleasant to see a wreck into the lake.
Oh yeah, I hear you loud.
If we have anyone wreck into the lake,
Oh yeah, I got you loud, clear there.
man, I don't know. You might miss a week or two like Kurt Busch if you end up in the lake. So at the Georgia Fairgrounds here, Lakewood is the track. Basically, it looks kind of like a horse track almost, the way it's laid out. We're not, it's no horses racing on track. It's going to be these trucks, as we've got Braden Hunt out to an early lead on Kellen Oakley. Krista Cower in tow there, sitting 3rd so far. The dust is something fierce as everyone in the bleachers can hardly see all the trucks on track. Kellen Oakley ends up taking the lead here. Krista holding in strong in 2nd. As mentioned earlier at Spa, Krista's looking for a win here, and that'll lock her into the playoffs. The way she's running, though, she might be able to rack up enough points to point her way in. Especially if we have a driver like Kellen Oakley, who's already won this season, taking the win away from a driver that's winless. Braden Hunt's another driver within points contention that could point his way in. Looks like the back of the field right now, we got Taden Berggren and Roland Heidfeld. Krista and Braden are running the high line, while Kellen Oakley is running the inside line. Going through the field from the back here, we've got Roland Heidfeld and Taden Berggren, Gavin Legend, David Bird, and Tim Cording. Cording's gonna have to hope for gaining a lot of spots on track because this will hurt him in the point standings finishing back here. Brandon Petrolsky and James Robert, Jessica Hergeson, Al Bunch, and John Brinker, Zach Armstrong, Luis Rodriguez, and Austin Mullins, James King, Philip Leeds, and Jordan Walker. Then you got Colton Smith holding steady in 22nd at the moment. Nathan Morgan and Kinsella Jr., Louis Trost, Lane Smith, Avery Farrell, and Maggie Reams. And then you got our points contenders. We got Ant Meeperson sitting in 15th at the moment. Ben Dover, Jack Davis, Paulo Ladino, and Chaz Chadwick. Then Matthew Fastnot, Tim Hansen, Tristan Reams, who's sitting 8th at the moment. Jack Ross, Atlee Weiss in the top 10. Trevor Walker in the top 5. Guido Piano consistently running up front each race. Braden Hunt along with Krista Cower and Kellen Oakley. All I can think about is a wreck going down that backstretch, or we might have someone wind up in the river. Kellen Oakley's doing pretty good there, maintaining the lead. Krista ain't going away, sitting in 2nd there. Oh no, Al Bunch ends up getting in a wreck. On lap 8, entering the back stretch of the track. This all started with Luis Rodriguez and James King making contact there. It collects a decent amount of drivers there as Roland Heidfeld and Taden Berggren, Al Bunch, all of them had nowhere to go. Tim Cording makes it through without much damage to his vehicle. is now we have our first caution in the race. First retirees included that of Taden Berggren, Roland Heidfeld, and Al Bunch. Al Bunch finished last in the last race, so he's going to back that up with another last place finish here at Lakewood. So 11 laps into the race, and we've had our first caution, taking out 3 trucks in the running. I think we found a good find here in Lakewood. The track seems to run smoothly. Looks like we got potential for some good racing here as well. The AI aren't crazy, so so the lights are off, and they're going to go back to racing here in a couple seconds. As the pace truck pulls off, Kellen Oakley leads the field to the green flag. Behind him are Krista Cower, Guido Piano, Trevor Walker, and Atlee Weiss for your top 5 at the moment. Oakley off, Krista right there behind him. You get a feeling that Krista's got the faster truck here, it seems like. Kellen Oakley keeps going up on the high groove, but she's got that inside lane figured out. In order to take the lead, I do think she'll have to have a mistake made by Kellen Oakley. This will make race 14 of 16 in the regular season. After this, we've got Michigan and Escondido. Those will be the last 2 tracks to determine who's in and who's out of the playoffs. Definitely the hornet's nest at the back here. You don't want to be stuck back in this part of the track. Tim Cording is going to have a lot of ground to make up. However, he might be able to make it up due to attrition. as long as he's not part of that attrition, so. Gavin Legend sitting deep in the pack, looking for a good run. It's been announced that in 2023, Avery Farrell and Atlee Weiss will be teamed together for Mopar Motorsports. Our 2023 silly season is under full force at the moment, as a lot of switches and changes are going to be made. We'll have a full field of 43 drivers in the Truck Series, and the cap will be set to 32 in the Busch Light Series. Our Cup Series will have 44 drivers fighting for 42 spots on track. Our title contenders of Chadwick and me person sitting 11th and 12th at the moment. Tristan Reams having a solid run in the top 10 so far, as well as Jack Ross and Braden Hunt. Atlee Weiss up into the top 5 here, looking for a win to make it into the playoffs. Kellen Oakley still holding over the lead at the moment. Looks like he got into the way up high there on that one. I don't know if he got into the wall or not, but perhaps he's finding the fastest way around the track by riding in the danger zone up against the guardrails there. Krista had a third at Spa, and by the way she's running, another top 3 will be really good points for. Amazingly enough, Guido Piano seems to be one of the top contenders right now. Even though our points leaders are Ant Me Person and Chaz Chadwick, I think we're going to have to keep our eyes out on Guido Piano in the playoff. It's going to be interesting to see all the different contenders in the playoffs and how they approach, what the approach is, and how different it's going to be. Kellen Oakley's got his special scheme for this race, the Mentos Coca-Cola truck. If he's able to pull off the win here, he might just have to celebrate in victory lane with some Coca-Cola and Mentos. Forget about the champagne. Get the Minto Coke going. Imagine how festive a celebration that would be. David Bird's up to 25th, which is improvement on how he's been doing the last couple weeks. And Trevor Walker's having a good showing of it in third place at the moment. Krista's closing back in on the lead here. She was 1 second down. Now she's only 0.8 seconds down. Seems like Oakley had a better lap there and grew the lead back in his favor by a couple tenths. Gavin Legend, you're currently running 28th on track. Tim Cording's running 33rd. Points contenders, Chadwick's running 11th and me person's running 14th. Seems like Krista makes up momentum one lap and then loses it on the next. That time it looks like she actually made up both laps, made up a little bit of momentum on Kellen Oakley there. Looks like she's going to gain a lot of momentum here as her 0.7 second deficit is now down to 0.62. Seems like Kellen Oakley is struggling on the long run here. And Krista's got that thing dialed in. It's like she's running on a track. Slot car to the track. She does lose a little bit of momentum here, it looks like. As it's kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We're likely to have at least 1 pit stop, whether that be under caution or during green lap conditions here. Being a 1 mile track, I'm sure we'll get at least 1 pit stop before the conclusion of it. Walker wants to get inside to take second from Krista here. And it looks like these two are going to duke it out for second. This will help Kellen Oakley drive off from the lead there. It's getting a little close for comfort. Someone's going to have to give, while the other one's going to take. Doesn't look like Krista wants to give any. Fighting back on the outside, Trevor's having a hard time securing the position here. A pair of Toyotas fighting hard for second place at the moment. Trevor already has a win on the season, so Krista definitely wants it more to get that ever so important playoff position secured. So Krista settles back into second here, fending off the fight from Trevor there in third. The rest of your top 10 is as follows: Braden Hunt in fourth, Guido Piano in fifth, Tristan Reams in sixth, Jack Ross in seventh, Atlee Weiss in eighth, Matthew Fastnot in ninth, and Tim Hansen in 10th. Krista's the closest she's ever been all day here on Kellen Oakley there for the lead. She's going to be within half a second at the finish line here. Actually, quarter of a second on him. She's got to find the right opportunity to make the pass on him. A little bit of help, she could get by. Kellen Oakley is going to try to do his best impersonation of Ryan Newman at the front here. I doubt there's much draft playing into this right now, as one, they're on a short track, and two, they're on the dirt, but Krista's going to need just about everything she can to get by Oakley here for the lead. Now, and Trevor's trying to take the spot back again. This time he might be successful on. But Krista just ain't giving up. She is going to fight tooth and nail to keep the second spot secured. Keeps her that much closer to the lead if she can get an opportunity to get around Kellen Oakley and potentially win the race. It looks like Krista's going to prevail again here. And every time this happens, she actually manages to gain ground on Kellen Oakley. When you would think it'd be the exact opposite, the two of them racing side by side, more likely to make them lose momentum on the leader. Trucks take that turn 4 very slow. It almost seems like they're slowing down for caution pace, but they're not. That's just how slow they take the exit of turn 4. Braden Hunt slowly eking his way into the picture here, as you've got a Ford leading, followed by two Toyotas, and then another pair of Fords behind that. You have to look all the way back to 8th before you find your first Dodge, with Atlee Weiss running 8th. And then all the way back to 10th for your first Chevy. Running in 10th is Tim Hansen. But for the most part, it's a front of the field dominated by Ford and Toyota. The Toyotas seem to have it when it comes to qualifying pace. Funny part is our top two contenders are in a Dodge, with Chadwick and me person both representing Dodge. They've been able to be most consistent for the start of the season here. Even though they're not dominating the race, they're still running 11th and 14th at the moment. Looking even further back, it seems Tim Cording's going to kind of settle back there into the 33rd position. It's not the end of the world. His extra win at Spa is definitely going to help him in the playoff run. Time's starting to tick for a lot of these drivers without a win. We'll go through the field and kind of give you a rundown on where each driver stands. Kellen Oakley is definitely locked into the playoffs, but then you got Krista Cower in second, who is going to have to get a lot of points to point her way in. It would look a lot easier if she gets the win here at Lakewood. And we got Trevor Walker, who's also locked in. Braden Hunt is not, but's been consistent enough that he could still point his way in. He'll likely be one of your first drivers to point their way in, as he's been running really good at the tail end of the regular season here. Tristan Reams was able to secure a win and lock his way into the playoffs, so he's solid, as well as Guido Piano. Then we got Jack Ross, who's gonna have it. He's basically in a must-win scenario at the moment. I don't see him pointing his way in at all, so he's gonna hopefully have to find a way to win it and take it from one of those that are pointing their way in. As well as Atlee Weiss and Matthew Fastnop, both of these drivers, it's going to be harder for them to point their way in. Chadwick, with 2 wins on the season, he's locked into the playoffs and likely to be a top seed going in. Being a regular season champ will net you some bonus points that'll secure you through the playoffs, so his only other competitor will be that of Aunt Me Person. Maggie Reams is locked. She got a win earlier in one of the dirt tracks. Jack Davis, on the other hand, has a win, but he has to find a way back into the top 25 in points to maintain his playoff position. A 12th here at Lakewood will be a good start to getting into that top 25. Tim Hansen won early in the season. He won the second race after Aunt Me Person won the first race. So he's locked in, as well as Aunt Me Person, who could potentially still take the overall points. He could take the standard or the regular season championship and get bonus points for the playoffs. Avery Farrell joined the series a bit too late to be considered a contender. All he's trying to do is get wins. If he can get a win and potentially into the top 25, it's not impossible, but highly unlikely. Paulo Adino is in a must-win. He's had a rough season so far. Top 15s and top 10s are really good if he can pull those off. If he somehow finds his way in an opportunity to win, he could still potentially lock his way in. Same with Lane Smith, who joined the series a tad too late to be considered a contender. He's going to be out there playing spoiler for just about everyone else. So, with no championship, no pressures or drama, he's just out there to race. Louis Trost also would likely need a win. Not certain that that'll happen, but he's had a decent run for as many races he's run this season. He came in a little bit late, but definitely showing promise for the next season. Ben Dover, not locked in. Philip Leeds, not locked in. Jordan Walker would be a lock and probably will point his way in. And Nathan Morgan will be your other driver, likely to point their way in. So amongst the 3 that'll point their way in, we've got 4 drivers with a steady shot at doing so. William Kinsella Jr. seems to be towards the lower end of the totem pole. That truck seems to struggle for speed week in and week out, so hopefully he can turn his season around and actually have some good finishes. Most definitely not going to be in the playoffs. Neither is Austin Mullins, having joined late in the series. He is confirmed, though, to be in the Cup Series next season, with the Penske lineup being full-on reset. He won the Penske lottery and will drive the number 12 Menards Ford Mustang in the Sylvania Cup Series in 2023. So that's a huge plus for him. David Bird, who's struggled in and out, not going to make the playoffs, but hoping that he can get some better finishes towards the end of the season here. Gavin Legend had an opportunity to get a win earlier this season. He's actually had a few good runs. Seems like he struggles on most of the tracks, but still a lot of potential to be had there. If he's lucky and gets a win, all he's going to have to do is be in the top 25 in points, which would be pretty easy for him. Colton Smith, who just joined recently, is not in contention for the playoffs. But just like his brother Lane Smith, I believe they're brothers. I never actually asked or not 100% certain. But they're both out of contention and just out there trying to get some good finishes towards the end of the season here. And then we got John Brinker, who's been secured for Busch Light Series next year in JSR stable. He'll follow the stepping stones up towards the Cup, driving for my team. Not in contention for the playoffs here, but looking to improve upon his standings towards the end of the season here. Zach Armstrong, I wish that his season would have gone better. It seems like whenever he has a good run, something bad happens. So it'll be nice to see drivers like Zach potentially get a win, even if it's during the playoffs and not a lock for championship contention. But yeah, as we go further back here, Petrolsky is almost certainly out. James Robert could potentially work his way in there, but running as deep in the field today as he is, he's going to lose a lot of ground in the point standings, as well as Jessica Hergeson. Tim Cording's actually locked, even though he's running 33rd in this race. He doesn't have anything to worry about, so potentially he's just kind of biding his time for this race. Maybe getting some extra reps in, trying to figure out these dirt tracks for the later rounds that'll be on dirt. Luis Rodriguez is definitely in a must-win scenario. Could still pull it off here. And then we're back. James King's actually locked in. Haven't gotten a win earlier in the season as well, so it's a good thing he's locked, because this race would be a detriment. It would hurt him in the point standings pretty bad if he was having to fight for points here. And so now we're back to the front. As I did the run through on the field, nothing has changed. Still Kellen Oakley leading over Krista Cower. Our new third place is Braden Hunt, followed by Tristan Reams, as Trevor Walker has fallen back to 5th. His continued fights for second might have used up some of his equipment there to drop him back to 5th. And I did get some clarification. Lane Smith and Colton Smith are not actually brothers. They may be brothers from another mother. They may not even know each other, but now I know. Can confirm there is no familial bonds there. Well, can't confirm that neither, but it's not, I guess, it's not all that important or none of my business for the most part, so. It was just funny that the two of them joined the server almost back to back, so I assumed they were related. I never asked, I just assumed. It's very evident that this track's a 1 mile track, as it takes them quite a while to run a lap around here. 37 seconds on the slow end of this because they haven't pitted for new tires. Kellen Oakley's fastest lap was a 33.9, so still not quite to halfway yet. And 72 laps into this race, we're already 45 minutes long, so we're going to be looking into about almost a 2-hour race here. It's a truly endurance race for the trucks. This is a good test for me on my lengthy races for the Cup Series next year, where we're going to actually have the Cup races broadcast on YouTube here. I wasn't able to do that the last, this year because the races are so long. Usually they're about 3 to 4 hours long. But I'm going to try to minimize and make the Cup Series last about 2.5 hours to 3 hours. 3 hours for some of your longer races like the Coke 600 or the Daytona 500. Currently, I believe the pit window is probably going to be about halfway, it'd be my guess. I'm assuming the AI are either going to push it to lap 100 or really close to it. That way they can make it on 2 stop or 1 stop, basically. I don't know. Most of these drivers might have pitted during that first caution early in the race. We have such a long green flag run here that we got potential for a caution to strike sometime here. If we do have a driver take a dip in the lake, we might have to have him sit out a race or two, depending on the severity of said splash. Krista's within striking range on Kellen Oakley yet again here. Seems like when she gets this close, she loses momentum and falls off. She's running fast enough laps to stay right there with Kellen, and potentially might have her greatest shot at getting the position now. Seems like Kellen Oakley's tires have totally gone away as he turned a 37.6 compared to Krista's 37.3. The exit of turn 3 going into turn 4. On the exit of turn 4 onto the front stretch. She's still right there behind him. Got a duo of, actually have a Ford and a Toyota followed by a duo of Fords. Krista's the lone Toyota in the top 4. Trevor Walker's in 5th. Krista overdrove it a little bit there, got high. Even though she overdrove it, it seemed to be a fast way around that turn there. All she's got to do is find an opening. Kellen Oakley might make a mistake and give her that opening. She by far has the fastest truck on track at the moment. Fastest lap in the race was actually turned by Braden Hunt, who's sitting in third. He turned a 33.7. If you compare that to Kellen Oakley's fastest lap, he had a 33.9. Yep, this will definitely be a 2-hour race at this length, which I'm okay with, because this is gonna be this will be a big race for all that's involved. It's gonna go a long way to determine who's in and who's out of the playoffs. So with Tim Cording here running 33rd, there is some good news to come, as even though this is not the best of news that he's running 33rd, he's got big plans for 2023. His team owner of Seth Smith looking to, they're going to expand into the Busch Light and into the Cup Series in 2023. Tim Cording is going to be driving for both teams, and there's a couple drivers that are going to move up the ranks with him. First off, we'll start with the Busch Light Series, being in a Ford team. They're going to carry the Ford name. His team name will be Total Knockout Motorsports, and his first teammate for the Busch Lights will be Dave Wilson in the number 52, driving the Texas Roadhouse Busch Light car. Looks like we got pit stops on lap 82, so this is going to make for an interesting transition. There's going to be a 2 pit stop race here, as 82 will only get us to lap 164 before the next pit stops happen, and then we'll have a 40 lap dash to the end. Yeah, Dave Wilson is currently running in the Busch Light Series, so not a big transition for him. However, Tim Cording, it'll be his first season in the Busch Light after having such a stellar performance in the trucks. Him and Dave Wilson looking to rack up wins and potentially a championship for Total Knockout Motorsports. He will continue to run in the truck series, Tim Cording in the 50. And believe it or not, I'm actually going to jump on board a truck in 2023 teamed up with Tim Cording. Jacob Shingle Racing and Total Knockout Motorsports have a sort of alliance, since we're both going to be Ford teams. The alliance extends to my talent, and his talent are kind of going to be interchangeable, and it's, in lack of better terms, just like the way that Wood Brothers is to Penske in NASCAR Cup today. So yeah, I'm going to be in the truck series next season, trying to get some more wins and hopefully more track time. It's been 56 plus races since I've won in the Cup Series, so maybe if I get in the trucks, I'll turn my luck around. And the grand poobah of all the announcements here will be his move to the Cup Series. It's not certain who's going to be filling the second ride quite yet, but he'll be able to maintain the 50 and the number 52 in the Cup Series as well. For the last 12 years, Jacob Schenkel Racing has held the number 50 and 52 as primary numbers, but I'm more than happy to relinquish some of my chartered numbers to another up-and-coming team, especially a Ford team. So it's going to be exciting, and there's a lot of change and a lot to come on the horizon. After that round of pit stops, we did get a change in the lead. It looks like Krista Cower takes point after Kellen Oakley dropped back to third. So Krista Cower made the most of the pit stops there, as well as Braden Hunt. And now it's Krista, Braden, Kellen Oakley, Trevor, and Matthew Fastnot. Yeah, also, while we're on the topic of changes for the season next year, one of the bigger announcements that haven't been made yet, but I'm going to go ahead and make it now. Adam Starr is going to open up his team starting next year in 2023 and is going to run Dodges, while majority of his drivers this year are running Toyota. It'll be Star Syndicate Race Industries, and Krista Cower and Philip Leeds are going to be primary drivers in the Truck Series, as they are this year running for Tyler Schenkel Racing. They will leave the Toyota camp and join the Dodge camp in 2023. It would definitely be interesting if Krista Cower could get a championship bid here going into 2023. It'd be an interesting topic that a champion for one team will leave for another team in 2023. So this will expand even into the Busch Light Series, where Adam Starr currently drives in a Dodge. I believe the team he drives for right now is Forian Quick, but he'll disband from Forian Quick to start Star Syndicate Race Industries in the Busch Light Series. And then even further ahead, there's enough room that we could potentially see him in the Cup shortly. Not likely in 2023, as we've already got a bunch of confirmed entries from the trucks in Busch, but Adam Starr will be close behind on his way into Cup here before you know it. So as they run right now, 1 and 2 has not won a race this season. Kellen Oakley is slowly sneaking back into the picture, but Krista Cower and Braden Hunt both looking for a win here. Seems like Braden Hunt is constantly running top 5. His last race he finished second before Spa, and then even further back he had a 3rd place finish, so he seems to have a knack for finding his way up to 3rd or 2nd place. Just not quite the next step up on that tier for a win. slowly approaching halfway here. Been a pretty drama-free race. We've got some good strategy playing out, as Krista Cower was mired in second, but with the faster truck has found her way into the lead here. Kellen Oakley trying to get by Braden to get back into second at least. The race has just hit the 1 hour mark, so like I was saying earlier, this is going to be a 2 hour endurance race. Maybe go take a intermission, go grab a drink, go use the bathroom, because we're only halfway through this lengthy race here. John Brinker, I have given him an opportunity to move up. He'll be in the Busch Light Series racing for Jacob Schenkel Racing, so that'll be interesting. Tim Hansen, there's some scuttlebutt on whether he'll be in the Cup Series next season. Stay tuned for that. He's had quite a stellar performance at the start of the season here in the trucks. We'll see if it transitions over to a potential championship during the playoffs. The other driver to join Austin Mullins in the Penske entry will be Jack Ross. Two drivers that were definitely not going to make it to the Cup next season found their way in on an extra lucky strike when they both won the Penske lottery. With Mullins in the 12 Menards, it's going to be Jack Ross in the number 2 Verizon car for 2023. Jessica Hergeson and Chris Hergeson are going to announce that they will run a duo husband-wife team in 2023. Starting in the truck series, they're going to run the 40 and the 04. Chris Hergeson, who's currently in the Busch Light Series, saw it fitting to move back into the trucks and start the team up with his wife. So that'll be an interesting team pairing there. We'll see how many potential wins, and maybe they can pull off a championship in 2023. Looks like after pit stops, you're still 32nd on track, so kind of a throwaway race for Tim Courting anyways. Not bad. 100 laps down, 100 laps to go. Krista Cower still leads over Braden Hunt and Kellen Oakley. We've only seen one wreck so far. Amongst those that were in the wreck included Taden Berggren, Al Bunch, and Roland Heidfeld, who are all out of the race currently. Then we got the Walker Bros that are going to start up their team in 2023. Trevor Walker and Jordan Walker will start out in the truck series under the name of Trevor Ventures. Jordan Walker and Trevor Walker will start their Toyota team. Looks like they're going to have Tim Hansen as a third driver in the trucks. And then we've got the Busch Light, where Jordan Walker will actually have a separate team of Jaw Drop Motorsports. So Trevor and Jordan will both have their own team entry in 2023. To be determined on their status for Cup entry in 2023. As of right now, there's no open spots, but they are still running pretty good. And there's no telling if something might change along the horizon here. I'm going to try to be as coy as I can on the Cup status because I want to wait till the entire season of the trucks and the bush lights conclude. Literally anyone could still get in if they win the championship. That's the deal, is if you win the championship, you're in. So as of right now, the status on the Cup Series is very tentative and mostly fluid to change still. Even though it's Chaz Chadwick and Aunt Me person, you might have a surprise champion like Jordan Walker or Trevor Walker or anyone really. Krista Cower still holding the lead for a brief moment here, but it looks like Kellen Oakley wants to get that lead. Kellen gets second there on Braden Hunt. Doesn't look like he's able to secure the position quite yet. Race is definitely going to play out to be one of the wild card races of the season. I wouldn't even count Matthew Fastnot out there in fifth, who could still potentially pull up for a victory here. Amongst your top five, the only two with a prior win on the season is Kellen Oakley and Trevor Walker. So that means even Avery Farrell, who's up to sixth, could potentially find victory. A lot of this is going to come down to our last pit stops on lap 160. Given that this race continues to stay green in the entire time. Still haven't seen a wreck into the lake in the center there. Very potential, very high chance of that happen. I apologize to everyone else that might be missing the races on Gavin's channel at the moment. Wasn't my intention to let this race, this session play out as long as it did, but it just so happened to. So once this race is finished, anyone that didn't know about it might go check out Gavin Legends' channel on YouTube. Kellen Oakley settles back into second here. Krista is still maintaining a solid lead out front. Seems to be that track position is key here. As soon as you get the lead, it's hard to lose it. Previous to that last pit stop, it was Kellen Oakley holding off Krista. Now it looks like it's going to be Krista holding off Kellen Oakley. Oh, and we have a caution on lap 112. And I'm not certain how the caution came to be. So we're going to have to go find the pace truck and figure out when the caution dropped. So this will add a slight wrinkle to the overall running of the race here. It looks like it might have been a debris caution. So we had a caution for debris. Oh no, my bad. Actually, we had a wreck on track. The 29 of Tristan Reams gets spun out running in 8th. James King and him connect. Looks like minimal damage on Tristan's truck there. Still bring out the caution nonetheless. Looks like he rejoins the track in about 13th or 14th place. And your leader is still that of Krista Cower over Kellen Oakley. So we're going to kind of skim through the pit stops here and see how they play out. Krista with the lead over Oakley. Hunt, Walker. And it looks like Braden Hunt struggled there getting onto pit road as he slowed. Krista gets out in lead with no troubles at all. Followed by Matthew Fastnot, and Avery Farrell gained a couple spots up to 4th as Kellen Oakley settled into 3rd. We'll have to do the points tally. I don't think Avery Farrell will actually be able to make it in with a win, as it's going to be hard for him to actually get in the top 25 in points this late in the running. However, Krista Cower is definitely in the top 25, as well as Matthew Fastnot. So if either one of those two drivers are able to pull it off, they'll be locked into the playoffs. And then you got Jack Ross sitting in 5th, who's very much alive. With a win, he could get in. Our points leader, Chaz Chadwick, sitting 6th. Braden Hunt, who's also very much alive, could get on in with a win. Lane Smith, Guido Piano, and Trevor Walker to set up your top 10. Due in part to that caution, it looks like everyone will be bunched back up. This might give Tim Courting another chance to make up position on track. Ah, dang, and Matthew Fastnot's having to make another trip down pit road here, as he had a coolant leak on track, so that's truly a bummer. It's going to take away a good finish for Matthew Fastnot. He gets the mechanical failure fixed there, and he's going to return on course about 30th on track. 34th, 35th. As we have 34 trucks running on the lead lap, he'll return 34th on track. So Krista will run the field back down to the green here over Kellen Oakley and Avery Farrell. Pace truck is off. Green light's about to go back up on as the flagger is going to be waving that green flag, and Krista's going to be tearing off. All she's got to do is hold. Oh, wow, lap traffic there of James King got inside, got her loose. She manages to survive and not lose control of the truck. Fortunate for that lap truck to actually cause such a commotion at the front. Since everyone pitted, they should be able to go the rest of the way. Yeah, it's going to be close. 80 laps. They can go 84 laps. And from where they pitted on lap 113, 114, they're going to be making it to about one or two laps shy of the proposed distance of the race. They're all going to have to kind of hope for at least one more caution to come back down pit road to make it safely to the end. With the whole field bunched back up, there's high potential for another wreck. Matthew Fastnaught's trapped in the back here with Rodriguez, Hansen, Smith, and Brinker. Tim Cording's made up one spot so far in the restart, up to 29th. Plenty of opportunity to make up positions here. All the trucks in front of him are for position. Aunt Me Person sitting 20th right now. Likely to lose his points lead, due in part to Chaz Chadwick running 6th right now. Gavin Legends up to P17 at the moment. Very much well improved from his starting position in the race. Louis Trost with a solid top 15 at the moment. Atlee Weiss has fallen back to about 14th here. Husband-wife duo of Tristan Reams and Maggie Reams, both sitting in the top 15. The two of them both locked into the championship playoffs, so Maggie Reams seems to be dangerous on these dirt tracks. The dirt tracks in the playoffs are definitely going to be a huge key to success for her. Jack Ross into the top 5 at the moment. Braden Hunt right in front of him. Avery Farrell looking good in 3rd. As we're running on lap 122 of 200, I'm going to save the midway point here. PT1, part 1. Okay. Continue. Tim Cording makes up another spot as he gets up to 28th at the moment. He's going to try to minimize the damage to his points tally in the championship. He's still got potential to win the overall in the regular season, so this is going to hurt him a bit, finishing deep down in the field. Luckily for him, Aunt Me Person's only 8 spots in front of him. Unfortunately for him, though, is the fact that Chadwick is running 7th. With Krista Cower leading at the moment, a win from her would bring the overall drivers in on points down to 2. If she's able to secure victory here, we'll only have 2 spots open that'll make it in on points alone. And we'll only have 2 races left to the playoffs, so there's still a chance that we could get enough different winners to tally up the entirety of the playoffs. Yeah, so our first round of the playoffs will be the round of 12. And then it'll be a 3-race stretch with Pigsport Superspeedway, Williams Grove Dirt Track, and Bump Drafting Superspeedway. After those 3 races, it'll be whittled down to the round of 9, where we've got Bullet Superspeedway, Devil's Bowl Dirt Track, and Bermuda Triangle. Whereas after that race, it'll be down to the round of 6, where we've got Fontana, Dodge County, and Pocono. And then our top 3 will be decided, the winner in the top 3 at Talladega, where it'll be a night race at Talladega. Our champion could very well be an unexpected champion. The whole month of September, we will have 5 races for the trucks. And then the month of October, we'll have 4 races. And then November, we'll have the final 2 to decide the champion. And then you won't have to wait long, because the trucks will return to action on a 26-race winter series. So 20 something, it's going to be like 18 or 20 races in the trucks. And it's going to be broke up into the winter circuit and the summer circuit. We will have 1 champion crowned each half the season, half the year, as we'll have a two season. Well, we'll have 2 different seasons in one season, 1 year. 2 seasons in a year. The way it worked out this year, we basically ran the summer circuit for the 2022 trucks. This will kind of remain the same for 2023, except we'll have fill-in with the winter series as well. Thanks to everyone that stayed tuned in so far for the length of this race. If you're tuning in and out or staying tuned for the whole thing. Much appreciated. This is kind of an appetizer to what you can expect for the Cup Series in 2023. I know it's hard to do a full-blown broadcast for a 3-hour event. There'll be probably plenty of these endurance length races where I'll simply stream the event and leave the mic muted. Probably keep an eye on the comment section or something. This is a good test to me to confirm that I can actually do a 2-hour broadcast, that the game will actually run smoothly enough during a broadcast live stream like this. So there's a lot of pluses here. Sooner than later, we'll get the 2023 schedule finalized for trucks, Busch, and Cup. Don't expect too many changes since we kind of found a good formula here for the trucks. The Busch series will try to imitate the Cup series. Got about 64 laps to go here. Krista Cower's been dominating in the second half. After that caution, Tristan Reams got spun out to bring that caution, and he is back up to 11th, so it didn't cause much trouble for him as he's still running decently in the top 15. Krista Cower almost had a win earlier this season. I want to say it was Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Might be mistaken, but I know for sure there was one track where she came in second after leading a lot of the race. So she's been looking to one up that finish since then. And it's looking good for her to maybe get it pulled off tonight. Here at Lakewood. This Fairground Speedway is very racy. They have good action all around the track. Our leaders seem to have good battles back and forth, as second place is constantly under attack. Leader seems to have the momentum with the fresh air out front. They make the most of that position, which is accurate to real life, that the lead means everything for you. As long as you're out front leading, you got that track position and that clean air. Second place is the first driver with dirty air, and it ends up slowing him down gratefully. After this race is done, I'm going to need a nap. Stellar performance for Avery Farrell in what's only his third or fourth start in the series. As mentioned previously, Krista Cower's definitely on a tear after finishing second in Spa. A win would definitely be the icing on the cake for her. back to the back of the field, we've got Luis Rodriguez at the very end, Tim Hansen, Matthew Fastnot, John Brinker, Austin Mullins, Colton Smith. And then you got Tim Cording and James Robert with Jordan Walker, Paul Ladino and Jack Davis, Jessica Hergeson and Brandon Petrolsky, Nathan Morgan, Zach Armstrong, Aunt Me Person, still in the top 20, pretty deep back in the top 20. William Kinsella Jr., David Bird, Gavin Legend sitting in 16th at the moment, Ben Dover with the top 15, Maggie Reams, Atlee Weiss, Louis Trost, Philip Leeds, and Tristan Reams, James King, Trevor Walker, Lane Smith, Guido Piano, Chaz Chadwick, Jack Ross, Braden Hunt, Avery Farrell, Kellen Oakley, and Krista Cower. And with the conclusion of this race, our next two races will be Michigan and Escondido. And believe it or not, Michigan's going to come pretty quickly. I won't be able to run a race tomorrow night, but Wednesday night's when we'll get to Michigan. And it looks like entering Michigan will only have 2 spots available to point their way in. Looks like this race we're going to have someone win a race to lock their way into the playoffs. Yo, Gavin, you're running P16 at the moment. Currently, yep, P16. I'm sorry if this one interrupted your stream. This one's definitely gone longer than expected, but it'll be over in about 30 minutes. And we got good battle for the lead. Top 3 are all in contention here. We've only had 2 cautions, one of which took out 3 at the beginning. And the second caution was a solo spin by Tristan Reams getting spun out by James King. So this race has actually been going by pretty quickly for the distance. It's just it's a slow 1 mile track on dirt. They don't get much over 120 miles an hour on the track. I think one thing I'm going to work on after the race, before getting all the standings and stuff evaluated, I want to try to get all the driver numbers as emojis on my Discord channel. Definitely, I was inspired by the idea that Tyler Aspinall uses on his IAC esports, or his IAC racing series. With he's got all the drivers' numbers as emojis so that you can use that to kind of show, you can use the emojis to show finishing position and stuff. It's kind of neat. It'll definitely take some time as I have to go in and select the car number, save it as a PNG file, and then upload it as an emoji. But it'll be cool. It'll be worth it. It'll give us a little bit more interactiveness with the Discord channel. Kellen Oakley's trying to take the lead here from Krista with 50 laps to go. Krista's holding in strong on the outside. Kellen Oakley wants to fight hard for that position. Your top four remains unchanged this whole time. However, the top four is closed in a lot closer than they've been all race, as all four of them are within 1 second of each other. Currently P30. .47 laps to go here. And Krista Cower looks to be trying to stamp her way into the playoffs with a win on the horizon. The other driver that wants to get a win is Braden Hunt there in the 69 truck. I'll try to catch the race later tonight on your server, on your stream. Should be a good one. Where is it at? Where's the race at, Gavin? Braden Hunt secures third place from Avery Farrell. Dust seems to be getting denser towards the end of the run here as the track is at its most dry with 45 laps to go. Still, no one has wrecked into the lake on the infield yet. Everyone's been able to keep it on track so far. Tristan Reams cracks his way back into the top 10. First time in the top 10 since being wrecked out earlier to bring out that last caution. Lane Smith doing solid with a top 10 run so far, as well as Trevor Walker, Guido Piano, Chaz Chadwick, and Jack Ross, Avery Farrell, Braden Hunt, Kellen Oakley, and Krista Cower. As I was watching from across the room, it looks like our last round of pit stops are coming a little bit early. Lap 163, we got Kellen Oakley pitting for the last time. Our leader still that of Krista Cower, who probably is not going to want to stay out too much longer. She'll be losing time to the trucks with fresh tires. If we get a caution here, this will definitely mess up the race as it runs for Kellen Oakley. Also likely that we'll get a caution where someone will wreck into the dip of water. Krista stays out another lap, and it looks like Braden Hunt's going to try to fight for the lead here. Krista's able to hold him off. In the meantime, Kellen Oakley's right out in front on the tail end of the lead lap. Okay, Krista's coming into the pits now, and this will probably be the best case scenario for her, as she didn't lose too much time to the number 5 truck of Kellen Oakley. She's going to be able to maximize potential here and get back out likely in front of Kellen Oakley. Four tire change, and it looks like Kellen Oakley benefited from his pit stop. Running out there on fresher tires, he actually gets by and takes the lead back on Krista. Pretty sizable lead at the moment. It's going to work out to where he'll have the slower truck at the end of the green flag run, and Krista will have the faster truck with the fresher, 2 laps fresher tires on hers. So we'll have to see just who has the right strategy set up here. Not certain that Krista's going to be able to pull this off. At least she was able to beat Braden Hunt out from second place there. Tim Hansen should be lap down truck now. Kellen Oakley is going to find himself in lap traffic land here, which might actually slow down his progress. So Krista's going to have to make up 6, dang near 7 seconds on Kellen Oakley. If she's got clear track in front of her, it might not be that hard. Well, looks like she only has 1 lap down truck to contend with. We'll have to keep an eye on the margin there and see if she's making up time or losing time. That lap she lost time to Kellen Oakley, so may just have seen Kellen Oakley play the pit strategy to perfection here. It's not like he's going to be short on gas. He's going to be able to make it to the end of the race. If luck prevails, it might be his race to win. Krista lost a little bit more time on that lap. Now she's down to 7.2 seconds back of Kellen Oakley. Gavin Legend has catapulted himself up into the top 10, running 9th at the moment. A huge bounce back for him, having been all the way back as far as mid-pack to 30th. He's now into the top 10. Likely hoping for a caution to help tighten the field back up. If the field bunched back up, he could have potential shot at a top 5 here. Still only 3 tracks out of the race so far, with Berggren, Heidfeld, and Bunch. It's looking like Krista's sure shot win is going to turn into a second place finish, which actually is not a bad deal because she'll have back-to-back second place finishes, and it'll more than likely put her in the points for the playoffs. And Kellen Oakley would be a repeat winner, so there won't be a new winner locking themselves in. This might be pretty good run for Krista no matter what. So besides, it would be nice to see a champion win the championship without a win. I think that would be the total G move, would be to win without getting a win. She's cutting the lead down ever so slightly each lap. She needs to get by Tim Hansen here to make up the most of this momentum that she's got. Unfortunately, Jack Ross is going to get by her on the outside here, pushing him up to second and her back to third. If Gavin Legend keeps the throttle nailed down, he could get into the top 5 still. Seems that Krista's truck's kind of gone away from her at the end here. 25 laps to go, and I don't think anyone's got anything for Kellen Oakley. Unless Kellen Oakley gets wound up in a caution or a wreck. He's off smooth sailing in the lead here. Jack Ross just turned a stellar lap there. Compared to Kellen Oakley's 34.3, he just turned a 33.9. So he's going to have to find a way around Tim Hansen here. If he can do that, he's going to be hunting down the lead here before long. Seems like his truck's coming to life at the end of this long 200-mile race. Gets on the inside. It looks like he's going to be able to complete the pass here on the lap traffic of Hansen. And that's best case scenario for Jack Ross, as this is going to give him an opportunity with free track, clear road ahead to try and catch the leader. 6.3 seconds, and Kellen Oakley turns a 34.1 on this lap. Jack Ross turns a 34.1, so they maintain on that lap. .22 laps to go. And sadly for Krista Cower, the win was just not in the cards today. A pair of top 5 finishes are going to help her. Right now at the moment, she's going to have to hope that Jack Ross does not find a way to pull off a win here, as that'll make playoff contention a little bit harder for Krista Cower. With 21 laps to go, Jack Ross is turning fast laps compared to that of the leader, Kellen Oakley. Oakley turned a 34.2 to the 33.9 of Jack Ross. Oakley just turned a 34.6. Ross turned a 34.3. So at this pace, he'll likely catch up to the leader before the end of the race. And it'll definitely make things interesting here, as Jack Ross's only potential shot at a playoff berth this year will be a win. Already locked into the Cup Series for 2023. He's kind of playing on house money, as you might say. Doesn't have anything left to prove in the trucks if he doesn't want to. Yet you always want to win a race. And it would look better on record if he were to have a win in the series here before entering the Cup Series in 2023. Due in part to the sudden nature of his Cup ride, he'll still be racing in the trucks next season. There's no limit on how many series you can race. You could race all three of them if you so happen to get the rides aligned. So someone like Jack Ross could be a lifer down in the trucks, but also make multiple starts in the Cup Series. His momentum is slowly fading here towards the end of this green flag run. His 33-second laps are turning into 34. Still cuts off about 0.3 a lap though on the leader, as he's within 5 seconds now with 17 laps to go. Still, if he continues to cut the lead as much as he's doing, he'll be there by the last lap, right on the back bumper of Kellen Oakley. Seems like he has one good lap and then one mediocre lap. Each good lap makes up for the other mediocre laps that he has. $16, rolling in on to 15 laps to go. Oakley and him are within the same stretch of the front. 34.7 by Kellen Oakley is bested by the 34.3 of Jack Ross. So 4.8 seconds now separate the top two. And Jack Ross is going to have to start picking up the pace a little bit more here if he wants to win it. Just getting to the tail of Kellen Oakley won't be enough. He's going to have to find a way to get by him too. .38, he cut off half a second there, as that was the kind of pace we need to see from him for potential win here. Kellen Oakley turned another 34.7, as his tires are totally falling off at the end here. We're going to see what this next lap brings. Another slow Poochie lap of 34.8. Yet again bested by the 34.5 of Jack Ross. So 13 laps to go and 4 seconds separate the top two drivers right now. Jack Ross is definitely looking to win. A win and you're in scenario as it sets. .8 seconds now. And it's so much fun to watch the deficits start to shrink ever so more each lap. 34.6 to his 34.3. So Kellen Oakley picked it up on that lap, but he's not picking up the pace enough. He's going to have to start protecting his lead here in short manner. 34.7. Oh, and Jack Ross managed to have a slow lap there at a 34.7. So maybe he's reaching the end of his tire life too. Jack Ross is definitely driving the wheels off that truck, trying to give it everything he can to catch the leader. Kellen Oakley with a 34.7. Jack Ross with a 34.6. So it seems that his momentum is kind of plateaued at this point. And I don't think he's going to have enough momentum to catch Kellen Oakley. Short of Kellen Oakley having a mechanical failure or lap traffic playing a factor at the end of it here. There's still a lot of variables that could come into play. 34.9, as long as he gets at least, yeah, he still made up time, a 34.8. It's when Ross needed to get another 34.5 or so. Ah, and Kellen Oakley, is he out of gas? From the lead. We don't have any confirmation as to why he's slowing. Oh, it's a caution. Oh, it's a caution. With 8 laps to go, we're going to have ourselves a shootout here. Looks like it was potentially another debris caution as everyone's still going straight. So, throw out whatever record books you had, because things are about to get interesting here. I don't know if everyone pits. I don't know if everyone stays out. The right move, wrong move. All I know is that things are going to get tight and things are going to get crazy. So, for you that joined on the broadcast here, Tayden, we had to run a, well, we didn't have to. I decided to run a double header since Bowman Gray was very glitched and very flawed. The trucks couldn't even finish a lap under power. They kept spinning out wrecking. So we ended up running Spa as a filler race, and it turned out that I decided, it's like, you know what, we'll just make this an official race. After Spa, we found another dirt track that we could replace Bowman Gray dirt with, and came up with this Lakeside track, which has actually been a really good 1 mile dirt track. Unfortunately, at Spa and here, both the 43 truck has had a rough go of things. Al Bunch finished last at Spa. Al Bunch is also going to finish last here at Lakeside. The winner for the last race was actually, oh, who was it that won? It was a repeat winner. Our first repeat win. Oh, Tim Cording. Tim Cording won the first race at Spa. Since then, Tim Cording in the second race is running 29th. So, not a great showing in the second race. However, in this race, our leaders have been mostly, dominantly, Krista Cower and Kellen Oakley. Kellen Oakley led for the first half, Krista Cower led for the second half, and now it's back to Kellen Oakley in the closing laps here. But I wouldn't count out Jack Ross or Krista Cower. Likely a debris caution. There's no trucks out and there was no truck spinning. We can do a quick check on that and see. Yep. Oh, wait. So I was mistaken. It was definitely not a debris caution. It was the same spot on the track that's been trouble all day. James Robert and Zach Armstrong get into it. And that's about it. It was just a single two-truck wreck. The others were able to get around and avoid the wreck for the most part. So we're going to have about a 5-lap shootout here to determine the winner. It's Kellen Oakley over Jack Ross at the moment. Krista Cowers looking to up her position from third there. Hopefully we have a good finish here in store. It would have been a good idea for anyone in third on back to just pit. Fresh tires seem to be a huge factor here, as it seems no one pitted as they didn't want to lose position. Jack Ross here is fighting for the win on Kellen Oakley. It's going to be a strong 5 laps here, and I think Jack Ross might have the truck to pull it off. Pair of Oakley Racing teammates running 1-2. The only thing that would end this race right now would be a caution. So we don't want to see a caution. We want to see this race all the way through. There we go. Jack Ross is on the inside. Kellen Oakley's got the slower truck, it seems. And Jack Ross is actually going to bulldoze his way to the front here. The two of them racing side by side might be able to help Krista Cower work her way back into the picture here, as we got 3 laps to go. 3 laps and 2 trucks that don't want to give an inch. Jack Ross had to let up a little bit there, and Kellen Oakley gets the momentum in his favor. But Jack Ross is going to try to come in strong on the inside again here. Going into the third turn, he's got the momentum. Can he make it stick? Turn 3 is always pretty tight quarters, as they're always, you can barely slip a piece of paper between them. Oh. Gavin Legend, your other teammates running 33rd, 1 lap down. As of right now, you're in P11, just outside the top 10 since this restart. But everyone's within a second. They're all reachable for you to gain positions. Jack Ross is trying ever so hard to get the lead here from Kellen Oakley. It's looking like we might have a potential photo finish on our hands here. Seems like he can get the momentum and get right alongside him, but to make the pass is a whole nother story. Jack Ross has the lead as of right now by a slight margin, and he might actually be able to slide job and get that position for good now, as he had to earn that position from Kellen Oakley. Something fierce. Kellen Oakley did not want to budge and give up the position. What this does do is makes it harder for Krista Cower to point her way in, because Jack Ross will be winning to get himself a playoff berth right here. Kellen Oakley might have a little bit of reserve in his tank here. We'll see if he makes another charge at it. But it doesn't look like he's going to do it, as Jack Ross, with all the odds against him, found a way to work his way into victory lane here today at Lakeside. Comes home victorious for the first time in his career in the USA Trucks. One hell of a run for Jack Ross, pulling an unlikely win out of his pocket there. It's got to make him feel good to know that he could win in the lower series before moving all the way into the Cup Series next season. Kellen Oakley with a solid second. Krista Cower with a third. Avery Farrell comes home fourth, with Chaz Chadwick getting a fifth. Guido Piano, Braden Hunt, Trevor Walker, Philip Leeds, and Lewis Tross round out your top 10. Then we had Lane Smith, Gavin Legend, Jack Davis, Tristan Reams, and Ben Dover. Jack Davis might have actually made up enough points today to get himself into the top 25, and if he did so, that means we only have one driver in contention to move on with points to the playoffs. So there's going to be a lot to unpack here, as Jack Ross, surprise victor in today's race, earns himself a playoff berth. We only got 2 more races to decide who's in and who's out, the round of 12. I'm going to get the point standings finalized here shortly. (14 of 26). Yes. Sport. Tim Cording comes home 27th at the end of the race. But the headlines are all going to be about Jack Ross after coming home victorious, leading only the last 2 laps of the race to get the victory. The 2-hour ordeal here. We had one hell of a race on the dirt. And there's your champion in Lakewood Speedway. And thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Sorry it was a bit chaotic with all the failed attempts to start, but we got some good racing in, and we're going to definitely see some shakeup in the point standings. So next race will be Michigan. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more clarity on who's in and who's out. So thanks for tuning in. This is Jakester signing out.